Some breaking news this morning on the arrest of former tourism CS. Former Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala, together with his former PS, Ministry of Tourism, has been arrested and they are expected to be presented before the Malindi Anti-Corruption Court this morning. A report submitted to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission alleged that the Tourism Fund paid 8.5 billion shillings in a fraudulent scheme to establish the coast branch of the Kenya Utalii College, which is now called the Ronald Ngala Utalii College. It's in Vipingo, Kilifi. The project was part of the government's Vision 2030 flagship initiatives. The report claims that the Tourism Fund managers inflated the project cost to 10 billion shillings from the original estimate of 1.95 billion shillings. It started at 1.95 billion, went to 10B. The ESCC found that the Tourism Fund hired private consultants to design and oversee the construction of the college. The consultants presented and approved a budget of 8.6 billion for the project. However, the ESCC also discovered that the cabinet had authorized the construction of Utalii College in Vipingo at a much lower cost of 1.948 billion, as per the memo signed by the Tourism Minister in May 2007 and the Finance Minister in August 2007. So in 2007, what had been approved was 1.9 billion.
1.9 billion,
The consultant is hired, consultant comes and says 8.6 billion. The cost goes up. The ESCC further revealed that the payments made to the firms involved in the project were not justified because they exceeded the actual work done by 1.4 billion shillings. In August 2023, the ESCC compiled a report and forwarded to the DPP recommending the prosecution of the following individuals and entities for various offences. That's the former Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, former Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, former Chief Executive Officer of the Catering, Tourism and Development Levy Trustees, the current CEO of the Catering, Tourism and Development Levy Trustees, procurement managers of the Tourism Trustees, Tourism and Development Levy Trustees, Baseline Architects, Rebman Malala, Armitech Consulting Engineers, members of the Tender Committee. Offences: 1. 5 counts of willful failure to comply with the law, 4 counts of unlawful acquisition of public property, 1 count of abuse of office contrary to the law. That's it.
You know, if indeed what we're seeing is the beginning of something we've prayed and wished for the longest time, the people who made it their duty to pilfer public funds, to misappropriate, to misuse, to the detriment of citizens of this country. And this is an example of one such person or persons, individuals being brought to book. It is indeed a very good thing.
Yeah.
If indeed that is the case.
If indeed that were the case.
Yes.
With recent history, you just are not sure. There's drama, there's public arrest and public release of public statements, and we are sure we know there's a charge, there's 5 counts, 4 counts, 3 counts, 2 counts.
Consolidation of cases,
Someone hiding in some place,
and
not
then
found.
They come and say, actuary,
our witnesses.
we can't find them.
And the ones we find, we don't have any question to ask them.
We actually have no evidence to bring.
Yes.
We have no questions to ask the witnesses. So, you're honest.
And we are the ones who brought his witnesses.
Yeah,
but for
we
now,
identify the
today,
witnesses.
We
we
can't
really
ask them.
don't have any
We
questions.
identify the witnesses.
But we brought them anyway.
At the time we
as
were
our
bringing them,
witnesses. Yes, we
at
had
the time we were
questions.
bringing them,
We had
no, not just questions. They were the ones that carried the information for the case at the time. But now,
This El Nino is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Look at what it's done. We now have no questions.
Imagine. You're
Imagine.
washed away
imagine they were washed away.
by
Imagine,
the floods.
imagine.
Oh my God.
So,
But it's sad that when you hear you see your initial your reaction, you see that if in fact this is true, that an individual who was given the responsibility to work in a particular office then took advantage of that office and pilfered public funds, if that is the case, and this person now is being charged, prosecuted, and then essentially what would happen after that, this is a good thing.
it's a very good thing.
Okay? But look at what is in the back of your mind right now. Based on historical experience, you'll say, yeah, okay. what is it? He'll be in court and then there will be bond and whatever. ROR will be applied. He will go. Then, after some time, they'll say, okay, court case has started. Then they say, actually, you know what? Really have it in it.
Actually.
That's what's in the back of your head right now. You're just like, oh, please. Big fish caught in net. Net will cut. Big fish will swim away.
So now, what is this?
Yeah,
What do you see? First of all, James is reminding us, Kamata Fridays. Today's Friday.
And it's Christmas.
Someone has been arrested.
Wednesday.
Nini. Yeah. So there's that one. Number two, will it be another conversation going into the weekend about political persecution?
It will be.
Oh, these were the people in the previous regime. Oh, this regime is revisiting. Oh, look at what they've done to the control of budget. Oh, now they've gone for the former tourism minister. It's just the beginning. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, these and the other. Well,
oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
That will have to ride onto this
topic.
Of course.
Social media will be
before 12 o'clock, you hear now. Before 12, you hear witch hunt. Yeah, you'll hear. Leave alone the fact that money lost too.
And you see, the point is, because we've seen what has happened to previous cases, the time when Haji and Kinoti and the ESCC CEO were doing the Kamatas, people were like, yes, finally, we've got a dragon slayer in office. Oh,
how did that pan out?
The dragon slayer's fire was extinguished. The fire was extinguished in the mouth.
You know,
my God.
The happenings in the recent past, you get numbed after a while.
And that's, I think, it's a very sad thing.
Yes.
That things of such gargantuan proportions can happen. 8.5 billion. Look, let's apply it like this. Is it not 8.5 billion that we're talking about this
It's been
morning?
inflated to 10 billion.
10 billion shillings. Right now, tell me what 10 billion shillings can do in Kenya today.
Where?
It's not a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But that one individual is alleged to have...
So they've conspired. You know, there's a whole... There's a drag minister, there's a PS, there's a fund, there's a there's a consultants, there's...
So let's add them all and say 20 people. Right? Somehow this 10 billion has found its way around these 20 people.
Yeah.
And then you put that vis-a-vis what it could do for the country. Boss, it's a big sum, but we've become so numb that we say 10 billion. Oh, okay,
it's 10. We don't think of the B.
No,
we think of the 10.
And that's a very unfortunate situation whereby it's numb people so much. Until even here, look at the comments already. What are they saying? Tumezoea. This one is not going anywhere. Nothing is going to happen. There will be Halabaloo who will say, oh, on that day, December 22nd, do blah blah. Balala and Guyo were arrested, and then
it is very unfortunate. If you actually think about what this project was to do, right? Establishing an equivalent of Utalii College in the coast. I've been there. I've been to this construction site. It's a beautiful place. Just looking at the design of the structures and what is there, because the structure is there, but it's just not complete. All right? If you think about, if you just spent 1.98 billion shillings to put up this one in the coast, spend some several hundred million shillings to refurbish Utalii in Nairobi, and what that would do. How many Kenyans are working in the hospitality sector across Africa? The hospitality sector in Africa is actually held by Kenyans.
It is.
If you go to the Middle East, it is also held by Kenyans.
Every other hotel has Kenyans.
Yes.
And you know why?
In Dubai.
Because of Utalii.
Yes. Utalii. It's the truth.
And now if you just think about all these other places we're talking about now, they're looking for, hospitality people in the service industry across the global north. If we had this facility working properly, if we had Utalii working right where it should be working, because even these days Utalii is not even as hard as Boma Catering here is doing
in South Sea
is doing much more than Utalii. If you just think, if those two are working, the number of people who would be benefiting from it, just going there, studying, and because It's a center, it's a facility. The facility has links with the industry globally.
I don't think we can
But
overemphasize.
10 billion tumegula.
Yeah, we cannot overemphasize the merits in doing the right thing. Okay, let us say that. Look at this picture that clear in my mind of what the country could benefit locally and on an international scale if this facility was used or completed for its purpose at that time and futurely.
Yep.
Imagine what it would do.
Yep.
Okay, let's say you tried, you couldn't see the 10 billion shillings and apply it to the conversation that we had an hour ago. And say that you have health infrastructure in the country that is wanting. Do you mean to tell me that you took 10 billion shillings and applied it across board in the health sector, that you would not then be able to have an infrastructure upon which universal health coverage then would sit comfortably if the right thing was done? We have such a problem. Okay, don't do the whole right thing. Okay, do half.
Do
a bit of
Do
the
small of the right thing.
just consider,
Please.
when you look at institutions of higher learning, because this is what it is in the country, look at the proliferation and look at what it has done. You know, all these conversations we're having here with the PS for diaspora affairs and other such related matters.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason why that ministry is able to be what it is and to do what it does is because we have the human resource. And this human resource is educated and trained.
Yeah.
Okay? For the longest time, we've been talking about what it is that Italy has done for this continent and elsewhere. Again, that market, because you have trained manpower, trained because you have the facilities for training them. Let's take a step back and look at an equivalent institution that doesn't do with the hospitality industry, the National Defense University. That university trains people right across the continent. I don't know whether Egypt has one, South Africa has one. I don't know whether there's been another one in Nigeria, I'm not certain, or Ghana. But you have senior military officers from right across.
NDA, yes.
Yes.
Nigeria.
Coming here. Right across the globe. It's not just Africa coming here. You know, it's not free. Okay?
No, it's not.
Then, remember, we have this Judiciary Academy.
Yep.
Okay? We have thinkers who understand human resource needs and what it is we need to apply. Now, this is a niche market that we've been leaders of for the longest possible time. And the testimony of that is the fact that you find Kenyans in the hospitality industries right across this region. Look at the story we tell of our pilots and the trainings that they've received, and you could argue you could find them in almost any airline on the planet. Now, this was a done thing because the need exists. I say this because when you look at the benefit of the remittances we have from our people, just purely from that perspective, and then you're looking at a college that was supposed to enhance this very resource called the human resource that brings about this remittance. Now, not completed, and yet 8 point God knows how much has already been spent. I mean, this is a crime of the colossal variety.
Yeah.
Opportunities lost.
Yep.
Look at what it would have done for the region itself.
Yep.
You know, you build universities across the world have been known to even create towns.
University city now.
Exactly. Do you know what Pwani University did for Kilifi when it was set up? How it has revamped, just changed the area completely. Then you add one more. It's not functioning now.
This is going to just turn that whole area of Vipingo and the surrounding area into a big thing.
Exactly.
But you guys.
Yes.
But what is the problem? What is the problem? Because if 3 heads knocking together here, obviously it doesn't take long for you to see the value in something for a country's development and also for the development of its people. It's clear. You can see. You read the first few lines and you're able to tell this is what it's going to be able to do. The person who is tasked, the people who are tasked with the responsibility, you cannot tell me that they don't see it. It is bad manners, you guys.
Yeah. You should tell us what they see.
It is terrible behavior. And every time we have these conversations about why are we in the global south not able to develop, it's not for lack of resource, it's not for lack of expertise, it is bad manners.
That's it. It's just bad manners, and that bad manners transcends into accountability. Those who should be holding the people who have bad manners accountable also have bad manners. So they just don't see the need for. Even now as we talk, we have the EACC, they presented their report in August. The DPP has been looking at the file since August. Again, decided, Are we really sure
Seriously?
that the DPP has a case against these people?
You see.
No, we have to ask. Huh? Even if we are told someone has been thrown into a cell, so
After all, we've been told stories of people who are in the cell, but they're walking around. Look, you guys, the thing here, and we say, we ask ourselves over and over and over again, what are we actually doing? And what are we really doing? What are we really doing? It's not an issue that this money has been lost. It's not looking at what it could do for the nation. It's not looking at where will you be in terms of your development index. And then we have people faffing about here every minute telling you, oh, I'm here, I'm concerned about the people. You're not. Oh, I'm here and my job, I've been elected by the people, appointed by the executive, here to build Kenya, to move Kenya to the next step. You're not. It's a joke. And it just happens to be that it is this one then who's come under the microscope or the magnifying glass of the EACC. How many more are there? How many more are there? Development projects around the country, white elephants, all of them. And then we say, and no.
Then you have to also look at the politics of it, okay? Because this falls right in the middle of it. DP Rigathi Gachagua has said more than once at the very beginning of this administration that, those bad manners of arresting people in the middle of the night, come on, and Fridays.
Never again.
We are not doing that. We shall give people their dignity. At coming to the middle of the night and banging doors and arresting somebody in their...
No.
It's today or Friday?
Not us.
Okay. Today is Friday. There's a story that was published in the Star in August 2021. Deputy President William Ruto's allies want Parliament to amend laws related to criminal offences to stop police and DCI from arresting suspects on Fridays. They said the arrests, commonly known as Kamata Fridays, amount to violations of human rights and take the country back to the days when suspects were arrested and detained without trial. This all comes in the wake of protests by the DP's men following the arrest of their colleagues on Fridays and forced to stay in police custody until Monday. Kipchumba Murkomen, who was the Elgeyo Marakwet senator, said we should come up with a legal framework that stops Friday arrests unless you're being arrested for an offense you committed that particular day, and there's a possibility that you'll be committing more offenses if you're left until Monday. Otherwise, you are Chanayo. Last month, that is in July 2021, Madera MP, what's his name? The then Madera MP, a close ally of the DP, was arrested at his Nyeri home on a Friday.
You don't mean
and
it?
held in police cells until Monday.
Oh, no.
And that's why he said, Friday
again.
Arrests, not under our watch. Today is
Friday.
And the watch is under them as we speak.
That's why you just look at it and you're like, it's just stories.
Do you know, when you get a people to a point where the levels of apathy have reached the crescendo that ours has gotten to, it isn't actually a very good thing.
It isn't.
It isn't a good thing.
Not at all. It is not.
What level of beast do you have to be, right? To be in a particular situation whereby funds, they're public funds. And then we talk about the mean age of Kenyans today being 19, right? Who could be training? That picture you've painted, by the way, Eric, is stuck in my mind. Who could be training in this facility and your conveyor belt, essentially, for hospitality services to the world? Not at here, you're looking for. To the world.
Yeah.
What level do you have
the
to
number
imbibe?
of people who would have graduated from Ronald Ngala by now, if this thing was completed on time, who would be working in the country and outside the country. If you just ask the people at Boma here, they tell you the number of people that they've trained who even win international awards as students. they participate in international competitions and they win. And they end up going to work across the globe.
Do you remember this market that arose and which required people with that training, the maritime industry?
Yep.
Now, Mombasa, the coast, is the coast because it is next to a water body.
Yep.
It's called the Indian Ocean.
Yep.
Now, can you imagine the opportunities that are lost for people who would have been in this seafaring business because of their training in the hospitality industry? Right at your doorstep. Right at your doorstep.
Yeah.
When countries open up, when hostilities cease within the countries like a country like our neighbor Somalia, do you really think that they will not need people in the hospitality industry?
Already right now, today, there are very many. The hotel industry in Mogadishu is run by Kenyans. As we speak, with all the incidences of insecurity there, once it's completely pacified, more and more Kenyans are going to be working there.
Remember what we talked about, and my assertion in this particular matter that you see, these aren't crimes, these are crimes against humanity.
They are.
Any theft of public funds amounts to a crime against humanity.
Absolutely.
And the penalty cannot be just go to jail. No. It has to be more. This thing, remember the case about this lady who worked for which road? Was it Kera? Okay. Kera. Now that one, if indeed what was reported is what happened, and that whatever assets that were deemed to have been proceeds from the illicit activity she was involved in were taken away, if indeed that was the case and they were taken away, and that is the trend, then let's see more of it for everything.
Yes, no. Yeah.
It's not difficult to compute what somebody is actually worth from whatever it is that he genuinely earned. The rest, let it be forfeited.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.